Well, hey there again, Manna family, and welcome to day 4. It is so good to be hanging out with you during this time of your devotionals. Throughout this week, we have been talking about the concept of suffering by looking at it through the lens of going through life's crucibles. What I hope and pray that you have heard come from my heart is that God has a plan and a purpose for your life. And even though it doesn't always seem like it, there is a purpose for every circumstance we go through. Sometimes those explanations won't be as readily available as we would like, but there is an enormous amount of comfort that comes from knowing whose we are and knowing that each one of us is God's favorite kid. Over the past few days, we have worked our way through the first few verses of our passage from Romans 5, verses 1 through 5. Today we are going to look at the first part of verse 4, which says, "Endurance produces character." You know, when I was younger, I had a poster that said something like, "Golf doesn't build character, it reveals it." You know, I'd like to take that phrase and apply it to our illustration of metal going through a refining process. In day 1 of our time together, I mentioned that a part of the refining process results in the impurities found in a metal to come to the surface. I realized that metal doesn't have character, but it does have characteristics. Some of those characteristics involve the impurities that can be found during the refining process. And just like the quote from my poster, some characteristics of the metal are revealed so that it can be dealt with by scraping it off the top, leaving you with an almost pure version of the metal. And looking back again at our metal refining illustration, we have come to the point in the process where the impurities have been scraped off the top, leaving in the crucible, the container, only the remaining portion of the metal that is almost at its purest form. Now that the refining process has exposed impurities and the impurities have been discarded, the metal can now move forward with the confidence and strength, knowing that it has been put through some stress, some pressure, suffering, and now is a better version of itself than it was before going through the process. Of course, metal can't think and it doesn't actually know when it is going through the refining process, but you can probably see the correlation I'm making or trying to make between the refined metal in our lives. There have been times in my life where I have been presented with circumstances that have become familiar over the course of time and particular cases of suffering. During those times, I'm able to notice, wow, I've been in this situation before, and this is what I learned from God in those past situations, and this is how He led me to deal with this successfully in the past. This is where you see the development of character in your life. Some translations of the verse use the word experience. Our experiences produce knowledge of those circumstances, and the application of that knowledge is wisdom. We can become more wise, which will result in our ability to thrive during difficult times. All right, man, church, have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you back here again tomorrow. God bless.